Hi all, it's Elena.
Looks like we're gonna get some rain pretty soon.
How you should do it. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Just looking for a motion, mover and seconder to appoint Dean as the chair. Moved by Greg, seconded by Hazel. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Counselor?
All right. Carol, we good to go? Let's do it. Just give me a thumbs up when. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today's General Council agenda for June 18th, 2024. And we'll go ahead and get started with the identification of media, and there is none seen. Number 2 as well in the community, the acknowledgements as well. Move right to number 3, the adoption of the agenda. So I think the agenda is the agenda is in the Dropbox. Take a look at the minutes. Got one addition, Greg. And do we have a motion to accept the agenda? Moved by Melba, second. Audrey,
Yes.
all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, seen and carried. Okay, so number 4, we'll move on to the delegation presentation. Six Nations Rivermen. You want to come on up to the center, and then we're just going to press the red for it to be on and off. Or sorry, I guess press the white button until it turns red. There you go. I'll go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Jay Smith. I'm the general manager of the Six Nations Rivermen, senior B lacrosse team that play in the OSL, or Senior B Loop as it's known. I apologize if I appear on a little bit unprepared. I literally just got back from Quebec at 20 to 6, so I jumped out of one vehicle into another and came right here. The reason what brought me here today is the Rivermen themselves are looking for a letter of support from Six Nations Council to we're putting in a bid to host the 2025 President's Cup. We would like to bring that national spotlight and national championship to our community. The Six Nations Rivermen have been in the Ontario finals in every year of their existence, this being their 11th year. They've been in the President's Cup, I believe, 5 times and have won it twice. So we have a pretty good track record as far as playing on the national stage. What we would like from council and from the community is to put a letter of supporting to our bid. We have to send the bid into the Lacrosse Canada. It's now called. It used to be called the Canadian Lacrosse Association. To host in the East, that is what we fall under. But I also want you guys to be aware that there are other leagues in the East. One being the Three Nations League, and Nova Scotia occasionally has a team as well. So it's not just the OLA that has an opportunity to host, but the OLA is the strongest lacrosse loop in the country outside of BC. They're our biggest rivals. So we would like a letter of support from council in an effort to win this bid to host a national championship here on Six Nations for 2025. It would be approximately August 24th to the 30th, 2025. The only hiccup I can see would possibly be our arenas may not have enough seating, but that's just a little dig at our fans to get our fans out, because the more fans, the better, right? But yeah, we'd like to host in Six Nations. We would really appreciate a letter of support from Six Nations Council. It would just strengthen our bid even more. The more support we have, we do have support letters from the ILA, from the Six Nations Sports Memorial Cultural Center, from Six Nations Minor Lacrosse. We're working on getting one from the Six Nations Stealth Junior C team, Six Nations Tomahawk Senior C team, and Six Nations Chiefs. But I mean, everybody has a life, everybody's busy, but that's our goal. And any support from this council would be much appreciated, because it would just strengthen our bid that much more. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Jay. Any question around the table? Audrey, go ahead.
Thank you, Jay. What I guess what cost is this to put in a bid, and what type of money are you going to be looking for next year if you win?
The bid itself has to go OLA approved first and then CLA approved. As far as the dollars and cents goes, in the past it has cost, and I'm gonna go on record as saying this will probably be put on the OLA as far as cost wise, because I know if we travel to, like this year that's in Ladner, BC, if we make it to the President's Cup, our travel is paid for by the OLA. As far as hosting it here, it would be, right off the top of my head, it would be floor time fees, timekeepers, officials, but to my knowledge, those are paid for by Lacrosse Canada. We do, as a host, we do have to pitch in some. That's pretty standard across the board, that host community helps cover those costs, but they are paid for by OLA and CLA as well. To put a dollar figure on it, I'm gonna assume it'd be around $20,000 or $30,000. It could be more, it could be less. Like I said, I literally jumped out of one vehicle into another. I'm kind of unprepared, but it happens.
That's okay. I'd like to move this motion to support them with a letter, and I believe in lacrosse dearly. Thank you,
I'll
Jay, for coming
second.
in.
All right, we have a motion moved by Audrey, second by Elena. Any other questions around the table? All right, all right, let's go to the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, seen and carried.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Jay, for your time.
Yes, thank you for your time.
Oh, no, Jay.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on here. We have number 5, which is the adoption of the General Council minutes, May 28th. And can I have a mover for the adoption? Moved by Carrie, second by Leslie. All in favor? Any opposed? Seen and carried. Okay, on to schedule in. There is no schedule in, so we'll move on from that one. Okay, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, just chomping at the bit here to get into this edition. It's as you know, everyone know, it's Game 5 of the watch party, and it's going to be really exciting over there at the community hall. You know, the doors will be open at 7:30. It's nice and cool in there. Of course, it's the Florida Panthers versus the Edmonton Oilers. This is it. Well, you know what? We gave them one, but I think that's enough. I know Brandon is well rested. He's ready to go. Of course, you know, we're going to have our old standby. We're going to have our pizza and wings ready to go. Pinks is going to do the entertainment. It's going to be rocking. Of course, we're going to have some draws. of course, for the wall sign and also the lawn signs. We have a few of those left. Boy, if he brings home the cup, that'll be something. The thing also, we'll have 6 hoodies for door prizes, and there'll be 2 draws per period. They're a little funky, they're a little different color. We got camo, we got little off colors, and it's going to be really good. The other thing is, there going to be some media will be there, so I'm encouraging everyone to come on out and show a sea of red, so that we can encourage Brandon. And let's go Cats, go!
Thank you very much for that, Greg. Okay. Now we'll move on to motion to adjourn. This is a short one today.
In addition,
Yes.
that was it, eh?
Yes.
Can I add one more? I want to know
Go right
about
ahead.
the concern in a community by several people that the heat is really excruciating. And do we have cooling places to assist people? I think Nathan would probably know that if they don't have, or their air conditioner breaks down, or they just have fans. We don't know what's all out there in the households.
Yes, so what we've done is we've designated the community hall as well as the sports den as cooling stations starting tomorrow. We will be getting on the radio and letting community know by social media that they can head down to the community hall for the cooling stations. We'll also have water available there as well.
Go ahead, Greg.
Sorry, I just wanted to remind people about Solidarity Day. Nathan, if you could just review the itinerary for Solidarity.
So we are looking to get started. I believe the start time is at noon on Friday. And again, that'll be at the community hall. We do expect midway for the kids. It will be hot, so we will have a tent to cover, and we'll have barbecue food available for the everyone to enjoy. I just can't remember off the top of my head what the entertainment is, so apologize for that.
Go ahead, Hazel.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that in your mailbox, there's this book. And from the Lens and membership meeting this morning, we're asking that everybody have read this book by next Monday, because it'll be on the agenda. It was quite a long, intense meeting today on this topic. I didn't realize there was so much to it, but we really need to, because there has to be a response to this by June 30th. So they're intending to put it on a political liaison agenda for next Monday. Okay, thanks.
Thank you for that. Go ahead, Melba.
Tomorrow, I think for the justice meeting, Tim Bucci is doing a presentation on section 84 of the criminal code. And I think that would be interesting if counselors have the time to sit in also. And that's the section of the criminal code where model inmates are allowed to return to their home communities and receive services related to, I guess, their criminal activity in the past. So I just thought I'd let council know. I know we're so busy with our portfolios. Sometimes we forget what other people are doing, and they're doing a lot of work in the portfolio system. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, Helen. Can you use your mic, Helen?
I'm getting upset by all the last 3 council agendas. There's been nothing on there. Nothing hardly. This is not good. And people are starting to ask me all kind of questions. What are you guys doing? How come you got nothing going on? Can't tell you nothing. I said everything's in closed meetings. We have all these closed meetings, closed committees, closed liaison, closed meetings. We have nothing on the council agenda. That's totally unacceptable for the community to see these agendas. So we need to do something. Something's not working with all these closed meetings. We're going to have to change and go back to the way it was. Because the community wants to know what we're doing and we're not. I got elected because I wanted to help the community, not sit here and come to a council meeting. I'm 15 minutes late and it's over. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm really disturbed by this because the community is not seeing anything that we're doing.
Go ahead. If you want, Leslie, go ahead.
Thank you for bringing that, Helen. I want to respond by explaining that yesterday, when we all met together in the morning, we have made motions that many things are coming to the open camera, which is awesome. We're excited about it as well. There are protocols of doing so, and so that will be all followed shortly. It's going to open up very soon, and we're excited as much as you are disappointed. You know what I mean? No, no, no. We're as excited to come out into the open with airing a lot of the matters that come before us as much as you are disappointed in what is not out there.
Go ahead, Melba.
Yeah, I agree with Helen, and certainly council, as Leslie said, is quite aware, and it's on all our minds that communication to the community needs to increase. So hopefully that will happen, and we will sort of discuss it and make things happen better for the community. And I know Helen certainly has for many years talked about communication to the community, which is really good. So we need to look at those agendas. And for example, just now, before you came in, Helen, I mentioned tomorrow, Section 34, the Justice Committee is meeting. See, that's the kind of thing, and I'm sure Tim does the best he can, and his staff, in releasing information about Section 84 of the Criminal Code, how our inmates, model inmates, can certainly come back to the community with oversight, with services that's relevant to their past criminal activity. So I appreciate that, Helen, with your coming forward again too. But it is true. We've talked about communication over the years, and now it's possibly been too closed. So I agree with you, Helen. Thanks for bringing it forward.
Oh, I just wanted
Go ahead,
to
Helen.
respond that when I seen the council that got elected, I thought, oh wow, we got a great council. We're going to have a great council. Look at the people we got sitting here. And I really thought it was going to be a good council. And we do have a good council, but I just don't like all this closed stuff, closed committees and closed this and closed that. And we can't, if I go and tell somebody something and it gets in the paper, then I'm getting blasted from council because I opened my mouth. When a reporter calls me and says, what are you guys doing? How come you're not doing nothing? What am I supposed to say? Yeah, we're doing lots of work, I said, but it's in closed meetings. And I can't tell you what it is. And it's hard for me not to tell people what we're doing. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to follow the rules. Because I always haven't followed the rules over the years. But I'm trying to follow the rules by not saying nothing. We're not disclosing anything, but it's getting really difficult for me to do that because I'm not used to doing that. We were always open. I had hoped that the openness and the transparency and accountability, I was hoping that we would be really strong on that with those three things, but we haven't been. And that has to change because we were elected by the people to do the work for the people, and they need to know what we're doing.
Go ahead, Hazel.
Yeah, I agree that, it seems like none of our meetings are open to the extent that they should be. And the information that we've all been dealing with since we've gone through this little bit of a different style of governance and, the matters that are being discussed within each of those committees, I think has kind of, we're still sort of getting established. I know everybody will say, well, you should have been established. Well, with change, there's a time period of adjustment. I think we're all in that period. And today's meeting that I attended with Land's Membership Committee, like the complex issues that were brought to our attention and that we're going to be discussing next week in political liaison, Helen. Um, I can't hardly wait for council to hear some of those problems that exist. And our community will know about that. It's the process from this immediate discussions to getting it out to the community. I think that path in there is, of course, we all want it to move faster, but sometimes it can't move fast enough, especially when it has to do, and I don't know if we're still online or not. The topic being the collaborative process on the second generation cutoff and section 10 voting thresholds. We even discussed, does that go in camera or do we discuss with council first? I think we as a group need to discuss it first so we all become aware of what the topics are so we can speak to it once it does go public. So this is a learning curve for me, I'll tell you. That meeting today was pretty darn heavy duty complex, I thought. Thank you.
Melba, then Audrey.
Yeah, I wanted to say too that um, Sherilyn, of course, is on the radio and she's invited counselors to also be there. And I would hope that every counselor has accommodated for their for their communication to the community in whatever area they're sitting on. So hopefully that goes forward. But I want to say that I understand that it's pretty busy. Just like Hazel had said, you have some very serious meetings and information flow that's happening within the portfolio system. So hopefully if people can move forward and everybody take their turn and then we'll have a second round because we got so much in the portfolio system just on the Fridays. So that's one area that can improve. Thanks.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Thank you, Dean. Yeah, I agree with my colleagues. This has been a long time coming. Since I've been here, it's going on 8 years, we have been discussing communication. Some of us have been very vocal and we've asked for uh, even a newsletter of all the things that are happening on council. And we were assured there was a digital one coming out, but we're still waiting for that. And we keep asking and asking. So hopefully that we will be getting that out sometime soon. What Helen is saying is correct. I think we've been, browbeating this issue for a long time now. And I think that we have to get the news out sooner than we are. Like nobody wants to read last week or last month's newspaper. So the sooner we can get it out, if it means hiring more staff or reassigning our staff that are there, that would be a really good change. And I think the portfolios really needs to be looked at as well. I think some people have too many committees, too many committee meetings, and it's hard to do and meet with people when they don't have any time. So it's really complex. And I think we have to look at the portfolio system to readjust it so that it'll work better. And right now it's for me, it's not working as well as it should be. And there's lots of other meetings besides these meetings that I attend, and that probably many of you attend as well. So it's like we're working full time, but we're not able to express to everybody what we are doing, especially in the closed section. So what we have decided to do as a council is to, after the council meeting is over and things are done in camera, then we're asking to relook at them and put the ones out that can be put out after they've been approved to be released to the community. So that's something that as a standard that's going to be going on from here on in. And so that's one way of helping. And if there's any other ways you have, then please forward them in to our CEO, and he can pass it on to the comms team. But I do appreciate community members for being so patient with us, and we're trying to do better. And if you have any suggestions, please share them with us. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I understand what everybody's been saying here, especially with a new governance system that we're trying to put into place. Is going to take time. It may take, in some instances, a council or two. So I know that everybody's kind of wants to get this thing all settled and working in order that may be more efficient, but I think we're going to have to work through it and sort it out, as Hazel has said. The chief does give a pretty detailed report every week. It's a lot of information usually packed in there. So it is that it's not that we're doing nothing. For example, she wasn't able to be here today because the test, I guess it was the parliamentary committee that we were going to be witnesses at and testimony on the excise tax was canceled last minute. That was a little bit odd and something that she adjusted, and she's still in Ottawa. She will be trying to meet with the Minister Haydu so that about all our concerns. She's also going to try to meet with the MP Larry Brock as well as the AFN chief. And she'll be only there 2 days, and she'll be coming back. So that she had to make a pivot on that scheduled trip to Ottawa, but she's not wasting it. I think she's going to be trying to do what she can politically and make sure that no time is wasted, especially if you get a chance to get to Ottawa. So, and of course, it's always that we're going to review the court case. The court case is a bit complex. There's a lot of things been going on, and that, of course, I know the lands and resources will be reviewing and giving a review of the court case. So it is a lot of information will be coming to the community, and I think that there still is a lot of information that is given out in the community through the chief's report on a weekly basis. I've tried to, on my terms of my portfolios, I've tried to inform everyone what the direction that we're going in. And also we'll have another one in terms of health. I know Amos is the chair. And so a lot of information will be given out to the community.
Thank you. Go ahead, Melba. Can you use your mic?
What happened right now is information came forward from a few counselors, and maybe that could be what happens also, what they think is pertinent information, or I guess whatever they've been doing, their actions they've been doing concerning activities for the community could be around the table at, for example, General Council, like we're doing tonight. Not just on a Friday, it doesn't have to be long or anything. So, just like yourself, Dean, with you're working just lately on a pool. Community needs to know that. They can get very excited about a pool if that's going to be a reality. That's just for an example. So maybe we can continue that if we will. Thank you.
Audrey is next. Yeah. Go ahead, Audrey, then Hazel.
Yeah. I was thinking along the same lines, Melba. Like they shouldn't be add-ons here. we should be prepared to tell the community about Solidarity Day. We should have the agenda here. We should be letting them know all the events that are going on and food and basically where it's being held. All that sort of stuff should be all planned out so that all the councillors know as well. And everything that we do for council should be broadcast and it should be planned along with our agenda on general council so that the people who are listening in, they have takeaways from here. You know, they might have to plan for, you know, taking a day off, or they may have to plan for having more family come with them and pick somebody up, that sort of stuff. So there's a whole kinds of planning that we could be helping the community with. Yeah, well,
Go ahead, Hazel.
Yeah, just another quick little update here is that I received a telephone message from a gentleman who he wants me to call him back, and I haven't yet because I've sent this message over to Sherry Lynn and Nate, Deb. Forget who else I sent it to. Amos. I'll just read the message as it was written. Hello, Hazel. This is Bill Stewart from down on Lake Erie. I used to work on the reserve for about 13 years with Dave Dawson from Gilcrest Homes. Please give me a call. He gave me his number or email at his email address. I have good news for you about MRI machines, and that's what we had a presentation on just a few weeks ago. He says China makes 93% of all MRIs, and right now they are quite cheap at less than $1 million. See, that was another part of the discussions when the presentation happened, that those machines are quite costly. But this man is saying he can get one that's cheap. Well, they're all cheap right now if they come from China. He wants me to get a hold of him, but I did send this out to Amos, Nate, Sherry Lynn, and Deb. I just asked, because of our current situation, I am wondering if any of you have suggestions as to how to respond. I am not sure of the pricing of MRI machines, and since this is being sold at less than $1 million, is it prudent to think ahead of this need now? Because that's another issue that's coming forward sooner or later. Thank you.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, I've set up a quick conversation with Deb to do some due diligence on the pricing because I'm not 100% sure on the pricing either. And once we do that due diligence, I'm going to reach out to, his name's Bill, right? Bill Stewart. Yeah, so I'll do the due diligence and we should be able to get back to him shortly.
All right, thank you. Audrey, is your hand still up?
yes, it is, and I'll take it down. Yeah, well,
All right. So I just want to say, yes, I agree with a lot of what's been said around the table, that our communications and what we're doing does need to get out to the community a lot, because a lot of the events and all of us are working really hard. I know we are. I know a lot of the things certain councils are doing, and it's just, it isn't, that message isn't getting quite across. And that's something that we are hopefully gonna, as council, gonna tackle within the next, month. And then, we'll keep moving forward, because I know it was said around the table as well that it is almost, with the change, just almost some kind of growing that has to go with it. Right? But I know that we're all doing what we need to do, and it's gonna get better, for sure. So any other comments and questions around the table? All right, go ahead, Ellen.
Yeah, my concern is that the community doesn't know what we're doing. We know what we're doing, and we are working hard. We're doing a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of work on my stuff. And like Hazel said, being the chair of the Lands Membership Committee, that agenda is humongous, very complex with all the issues. And I haven't went on the radio because I have nothing to say on the radio. I want to tell people what we're doing, but I can't because all our stuff's in camera. What am I going to go on the radio today and say, oh, General Council met and I got there at 10 after 6 and it was done? I missed the agenda. Like on my membership committee, I can't just go on the radio and talk about it. It's got to come to council and there's decisions and stuff like that. So I don't know what to say on the radio. I really don't. We can't say nothing about political liaison because everything's closed. My committees are committees. We can't say nothing about our committees. Like, this is what I mean. Like, I feel like I'm tied because I can't deal with the community. And we've all, in 20 years, we've always dealt with the community, letting people come here and ask questions, and we don't even nobody comes here now because they know there's nothing on the agenda and they can't get in political liaison. Finance, they can come there for a bit, but that's not the open session of finance isn't that long either. So I thought this council was going to be the one that was going to be passing everything to the community because it's the only one that's open. But look at our agenda. And last week, 2 weeks ago, the agenda wasn't any different. 3 weeks ago, there was only 2 things on there. So this is the agenda that we have to work on. This is the one that we should be doing all the stuff for the community. But there's nothing here. So that's the way I feel. I'm feeling very, very muzzled, I guess is a word.
Go ahead, Leslie.
As a new counselor here at Six Nations, I have very much appreciated the opportunity to become more professional sitting at this table amongst the others, learning and researching as much as we need to do and more. I've listened to some things that were not as good to hear, and I'm not sure that I would want to hear that sitting out there being an audience to this sometimes discussions. Those things would have to kind of be tightened up, I would say. Not that we're trying to hide anything, but sometimes if somebody's going to speak unprofessionally here at our table and complain about every process, then which is not entirely true, or to demean or diminish somebody coming forward, I would be afraid to come in if I was spoken to in a negative sense. This is true. This is true. So when we come out, I hope we bring the best to our community because our community deserves the best. When we're able to come with all the answers that we've compiled and brought together as an excellent working table, that's where I stand, and I'm very appreciative of having that opportunity to learn and an opportunity to be on camera and in camera and to understand the politics here. And it's not anything that's detrimental to our community. Everything is in working towards leading and excellence. Absolutely. We agreed on that right at the beginning. I recall that. And excellence for our community. And I just want to tell our community right now that we work in unison here and that you're loved tonight.
Thank you for those words. So with all that being said, can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Leslie, second by Hazel. All in favor? Any opposed? Seen and carried. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much.